Good morning. It didn't take much looking to find a suitable video for today, because quite a few of you asked what I'm about. So I'll give you a brief summary of my life. I'm just an ordinary bloke who mostly stumbled through life with no plans. I'm more spiritual than religious, but I see God as a blade of grass growing through concrete. I was brought up by my grandmother and mother. I left school at 15 with no qualifications, apart from a 200-yard swimming certificate. I got a job as a trainee chef in a very posh restaurant in Dover, in Kent, where I grew up very quickly. My father returned when I was 16 and invaded my territory. So I left home with a one-way ticket to London at 17, got myself a bedsit and a job in 1 week. But the catering trade didn't really suit me, so I joined the post office as a trainee telephone engineer, and I loved it. 10 years later, I realised there was no future in it for me because I wasn't very keen on authority figures, especially male ones, and you probably know the reason for that. I was a rebel with a cause, if you like. So my only option was to become self-employed. And eventually I had my own business as a builder, never looked back, and I still work today for some old customers. And in the meantime, I developed a reading habit, and that has paid big dividends in knowledge and the wisdom and experience of other people. And my favourite author of all time is probably Fyodor Dostoevsky, a man who wrote about life the way it really is. And I'm a sucker for buying books, and I have many unread ones that keep looking at me with impatience for attention. And probably in recent years, the most important book I ever purchased is this. And it tells it all. 15 years of excellent essays that everyone should read. And the second most important one is this tome, a massive book. And that might change depending on what is being written now. Now, I've always had a problem with categorising people into certain groups that seem to suit administrators and officials. Old age pensioners, callow youths, useless eaters, boomers, gammons, black, white, male, female. It doesn't matter. We're all people, for God's sake, and we come and we go. No one gets out alive anyway. So let's just try and give our new replacements on this earth a little of our knowledge, just as the ancients once did. And visiting Plato's cave the other day, I found thousands and thousands of people still there, too afraid to come out. Politicians? Politicians should be barred for wanting to be one. And leaders should lead by example. But there is a warning there. Burnout happens to the best of them. And your past choices define who you are, and very often we make the wrong ones. That's life, unfortunately. Doing the wrong thing sometimes puts us on the right path to doing the right thing, and that is a far, far better option. And we don't need to be taught that. It's instinctive, even in children. They know the difference between right and wrong without being told. And the big question that no one dare ask today is this: Did you conform to the mass formation psychosis in 2020? Well, I've never really been good at conformity, and I questioned the logic, and I held back, regardless of pressure from family and friends. Today, those same family and friends I forgive for being wrong. Sadly, they will never forgive me for standing by my decision I thought was right. And one last thing. I very rarely give advice, but let me offer you this sound advice I find extremely important. Never, ever, ever take a sleeping pill and a laxative on the same night. I also think humour is an important part of life too. Bye-bye.